Hey, good morning. Um, Thanks for coming. A bigger turnout than I expected. My name's Chad Foley. I work with the City of Raleigh in the IT department. If you were here in the first session, Justin and I sit across from each other. So he's been involved in a lot of things we'll talk about today. But I want to do a quick disclaimer that some of the things we'll talk about, it's not like we're spending all our time working on these things. We're mostly just trying to keep the lights on day to day. But so some of the things we'll highlight are some more of the experimental or fun stuff that we get involved with. And, I think that's good that our management kind of supports that. It lets us experiment with things and have a little bit of a culture of innovation. But by no means are we spending much time on these, but you'll see. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the City of Raleigh. We'll talk about an application we use, a work and asset management system called CityWorks. We'll talk about how we use some GIS in Raleigh in general, and then an integration we did with CityWorks system and GIS and the Waze system. Does anybody here not know what Waze is, the navigation app? So Waze has over 100 million users. It's pretty ubiquitous now. So City of Raleigh, I won't say too much because you know a lot already. Yada yada, it's growing fast like Winston-Salem. It's the capital city. We have a 500,000 population, 150 square miles. We have about 4,000 employees and an almost $1 billion budget. Let's see, CityWorks. So CityWorks is a work. Does anybody here know CityWorks? Okay, great. So we use CityWorks heavily. We're going to present on that story at 3 o'clock today, but in an asset management discussion. But if you don't know CityWorks, this is what it looks like. And it's basically a work order system for anything done in the field. So you can think about people in trucks, boots on the ground, repairing sewer lines, or inspecting fire hydrants, or even the Parks Department uses CityWorks to track when they chalk the softball fields. So we have about 7 different departments using CityWorks. This is just in the past year, we captured 100,000 work orders just in 2018. There's about 1,500 users, and the main point of the system is to capture cost, your equipment cost, labor cost, material cost. And so every work order is tied to an asset on the map. And it's heavily integrated with ESRI GIS. It's a partner. Again, that's what it looks like. So general and GIS in Raleigh, we have, but this is a little outdated. We probably have a bit more now. 75 users, but the ArcGIS online usage has kind of exploded over the past year. I think during the Florence hurricane, how many did we add? Like 100 or 200 people during that event, just because people needed access. They wanted to get in and use ArcGIS online. So that's the big story there. But I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about myself. Like, I am historically not a GIS person. I'm what I call an accidental GIS guy now. So I never worked with GIS until I got involved with CityWorks. And when I started to get involved with it was like I was going on a new adventure. And I was just totally blown away by some of the tools and the team and the group, the culture around our GIS. So I started to work with Justin and our other GIS team, Kristen, and they were cool. They were doing amazing things. The maps are cool. I was used to using COBOL and Java and SOAP and WSDLs and, legacy financial systems. So I was just really blown away by the tools. I think the takeaway is you guys are spoiled rotten. You got these amazing, if you're using some of the ESRI tools, and you can build a web app with a few clicks that's mobile friendly, and, Collector and Survey One, these are amazing user-friendly tools, and they don't necessarily exist outside that area. So I got real excited. Now I love GIS. This is unrelated, but it's a map of tornadoes in the U.S. with lightsaber symbology. That's just cool. So that being said, we use GIS in everything. It's the backbone of the entire city operation. We use it in traffic, street lights, stoplight inspections, water, sewer, sustainability, transportation, parking, 911, police, fire. I mean, it's just everything to us. It's the backbone for all we do. So what's the problem? We have these great tools. Everybody's using them. We're making dashboards on the fly. It's pretty impressive. But when it comes to citizens and citizen engagement, the problem is that those interaction methods are really outdated. So if you see a pothole, you got to call. This is from our website. You got to call a phone number or send an email. You'll probably get voicemail. You don't know if somebody heard your request. You don't know if you're going to get a feedback loop. So something kind of fell in our lap to help remedy this, and we got a call from our partners at ESRI, and they said, hey, we got this thing we've been working with CityWorks and Waze on. Do you want to try it out? We were like, heck yeah, let's see what this is. So they literally sent us a zip file. It's an integration package. It works with the GeoEvent system. Does anybody here know GeoEvent or use GeoEvent? GeoEvent is like a real-time middleware integration for kind of like IoT things, and it can basically call out to other systems and other URLs and pull data in and pull systems and works with real-time streams. But the ESRI GeoEvent is quite an impressive package. So they gave us this installation. We configured it, took all of a day, if that. And then, like I said, it just fell in our lap. That's my little slide there. But it wasn't hard to configure. We just kind of did it for our city boundaries. And so the workflow of this tool is, so people use Waze. They're reporting potholes, signs are down or damaged, there's roadkill. And the integration takes it into the GeoEvent middleware. Well, GeoEvent's basically listening to a Waze like RSS feed. It's just this, we call it the fire hose of data. So this Waze feed that everybody here can get, and we'll talk about that in a minute, is just massive amounts of data just coming in. And people's speed and their reports and road closures. But for this implementation, we're just doing potholes, sign down, and roadkill. So it automatically goes into the CityWorks API, creates a work order or service request, we call it. And then CityWorks has a mechanism to fire an event to update a ArcGIS Online map. And then when the guy in the field gets the work order, fixes the pothole, it goes back to ArcGIS, updates that status, that attribute. And then Waze is actually actively working on doing a close the loop full circle where they're going to pull our system, our REST API, see that that is closed, and then inform their users that that's closed. So this is what the GeoEvent server looks like. This is the Waze integration that was delivered, which I have permission to share. I don't think it's like technically open source on GitHub or anything, but they said I'm allowed to send it out if anybody wants some. It comes into Waze. Waze does some filtering. We do a geofence, so we geofence out our state-owned highways, and like the Beltline in Raleigh is not city maintained, so we don't want to deal with potholes on that, so we just filter those out. It prevents duplication, filters by pothole, roadkill, or sign down, and then goes into the CityWorks API. This is what it looks like when it goes into CityWorks. We call it an asphalt failure, but it's a pothole. Antonio Ruffin, he's the guy, and he just gets it on his phone. Like, he doesn't know it's coming from Waze. This is just a regular work order like he's used to using. There was minimal impact to the end users. They're just using CityWorks like they always do. They don't necessarily know it came from Waze. So that's the CityWorks mobile app. This is a CityWorks webhook configuration. This is the mechanism that says when the work order is closed, fire an event to the ArcGIS Online, do an update telling it's closed. Again, that's the workflow. There's the example on the map. This is before we did the geofencing, so we had a lot of potholes on the belt line going around there, which they hate when they get that because they have to say, hey, we don't do that. So we're using GeoEvent for some other things too that I just want to touch on. We have some, I just really think this is the way of the future with the IoT and like when we get trash cans now, they're smart trash cans. So These are the big belly trash cans, and they have a cellular signal in them. So when they're full, they send a message to somewhere, to some web app that is part of the package. And, they keep status of the battery and the weather, if it doesn't have enough solar charge, whether it's online. So we pointed the GeoEvent to that system, to that status update, and it then says, okay, when the big belly trash bin's full, detect that, go create a work order in CityWorks, and have the solid waste department empty the trash can. Because before they were having to go to this big belly web portal and like check it manually. So now it just is another work order like they normally use. Another example is we recently got the Lime and Bird scooters in Raleigh. They're just kind of everywhere now. And so we were able to hit their API and have GeoEvent. You'll see this is the GeoEvent definition for the Bird scooters and the Lime scooters, and put those on a map, and then you can kind of watch it move around and see where people are scooting around the city. That's kind of still a work in progress. We basically hacked their API using like our personal login for the Bird app or in Lime, but now we're trying to work with them and do it legitimately. But it's hard to work with them. Justin mentioned earlier we did an Alexa app. This is just kind of another example of meeting citizens where they are. People are already using Waze, they're already using Alexa. Now they can say, Alexa, when's my trash day? Or Alexa, is this my recycle week? Or what's my city council district? And we're trying to grow this skill set, like where's the nearest park? Is the bus coming or something like that? So we have a whole laundry list of Alexa ideas. This is also on GitHub, this implementation, if anybody wants to clone it. We're kind of experimenting around this a little bit with some AI stuff, some artificial intelligence, the Google's TensorFlow engine. This is a picture of me where it's detecting that I'm a person, and there's an 80% chance. So and we're going to talk about that around 1:30 today. And I just think AI is going to be the most disruptive thing that's come in a long time. There's a lot of potential usage for that. Like we're talking about counting cars and traffic study, a lot of transportation stuff with the AI, having a camera, getting the video feed, counting how many cars go by an intersection, doing it ourselves. So I wanted to mention this Waze Connected Citizens Program, Waze CCP. You can Google that, or it's on the Waze site. But any government entity can sign up to be a Connected Citizen Partner. Actually, I think it's technically Connected Citizens Partner, but it's CCP. And if you sign up, it's free. You'll get access to, basically in the ESRI marketplace, you'll be able to get access to Waze data for your town or city. Is anybody doing that already, or has done the Waze program? Oh, cool. So that's something you should definitely look into. It's free, and you can get that fire hose of data. It won't be the GeoEvent integration, but you'll get the feature layers and all kinds of goodness that is in the ESRI marketplace. So if you're in the program, you can go to the marketplace and download it. I think that's all I got. One more kind of funny thing. If anybody's staying at the Embassy Suites, this is in the elevator. And I just thought it was kind of funny and made me think about what we're doing, and that I don't want, it's actually in 2 elevators, which is odd. So I assume it flashes if there's trouble or if help is on the way, but I just thought it was funny. But I want to know on my phone in real time where the fireman is to come get me. Like I don't, as a citizen, I don't want to see that and be like, well, I hope they're on the way, But anyway, that's all I've got for now. Anybody have any questions about this? Yeah. It's a good question. I will see if I can pull it up here. I honestly don't know that much about it, other than you can sign up and it's free and it allows you to get the data from the marketplace, but I haven't actually spent time with that data. I think it's definitely on our to-do list. We just haven't had time. Our transportation department is really interested in it. There's probably all kinds of great analytics you can get from, but let's just see if we can, CP. Oh. Oh, that's true. Yeah, they have several mechanisms where you can push your data. So if you have like road closures, you can literally, I think, like upload a file of road closures, like an Excel file, and they will take that in and use it in their system. You can programmatically do it. They have several intake points for road closures and special events, marathons, things like that. Let me see if I can duplicate this. So that's another thing that we need to be doing. We're not doing that now, but so analyzing the data that we get and sending data back. So I think you just get like a code, and then you can enable all this layers in the marketplace. Any other questions? Hey. Are you looking at trying to use AI to get a big picture overview and integrate it even more? Like, say, if somebody riding one of those line referred scooters in the Garland Ward, you automatically route that to the road field thing and That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I would love to. I mean, if we didn't have to get the water bills out and make sure people could do their jobs, that would be interesting. But you're right, a lot of these things are kind of in a silo. So these are side projects almost we do for fun in our free time. And one thing we're trying to do this year is formalize this. So this is the first time, I think, that the whole smart cities umbrella is being taken seriously. We actually just hired a smart cities coordinator position, which is more political than anything else. We have a budget for smart cities now, so we can take these various scripts and GitHub repo clones and little integrations we've done and kind of standardize them, put them on the same place. I want a map with all the traffic cameras on the map. I want to be able to click on the point, see that video real time, and get a count of cars. But right now we just have a script running on my laptop that, is kind of just doing as a proof of concept. So I think that's the next step. Make this a formal endeavor. Partner with somebody like ESRI or Microsoft or whoever to maybe give us some cloud storage, because there's a lot of advantages there, and do some more smart city things. We got a couple minutes if there's anything else.
Early on in your talk, you talked about after the Florence, I believe it was, your users on your Online expanded quite a bit.
Yeah.
When you said that, do you mean people who are using your, using it, or like you had to actually acquire, subscribe to?
It was just internal users, and it was just requests to the IT department to, I need a pass, I need to log in to ArcGIS Online.
And do you share, like the same, give the same password to, here's your username, password, you actually have to do as a user?
We have an Active Directory Microsoft authentication on it. So, but we only have a certain number of licenses, I think, right? There's 600 total named users, but when they log in, they use their regular Windows or city username and password.
Yeah, I remember the small little city, so it's like, okay, we need 2 more usernames. Oh, geez, I've got to get, people to purchase 2 more
right.
usernames.
Yeah, that's an issue. I could see the usage for a lot more than 600 even for us, but it's internal only. And but doing an individual user manually, that's legit. I would just create them.
Sorry, I just have a clarification. So actually, they're logging in, and then you basically have a pool of AGOL users, and they're snagging one of the 600 licenses available.
They're saying yes. Do you want to say anything to that, or? Oh. So like I said, I'm the accidental GIS guy.
Yeah, so we have 600 accounts. I think we're getting more when our ELA gets approved. Yeah, so basically they just send us a request of, these, usually it's the GIS person from that department says, I need a list of like 10 people. So they just send us 10 email addresses, and we just say we want to add these email addresses using our enterprise login, which is the ADFS. So yeah, it's pretty much they take up each user is going to take up one of those licenses.
So I guess what I'm asking is, are they taking do you have a license that is dedicated to you under your name, and that's one of the licenses, or is it a rotating pool?
No, it's like you have one yourself, which ESRI's kind of recommendation is not to use generic accounts. Like every person has their own accounts. Is what the yeah, I'm sure we'll be running into that too. I know Kristen has a presentation about our CIP dashboard, and we had to give accounts to everyone that needs to be able to put data in there. So she may be talking about that as well.
What time is that? 11.
Yeah, she'll be here at 11 o'clock.
All right, well, thanks. Oh, wait, one more.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is the data coming from Waze one way, or do they need feedback? Like if the citizen, I guess you would know, but if the citizen wanted to report like a tree down and that wasn't an available option,
Mm-hmm.
is there a way for you to get feedback to them?
I don't think there is currently. They sent us that integration probably a year ago, and they, at the time, said they would work on the feedback loop. So when they close the work order in CityWorks, it updates ArcGIS Online. Waze is going to watch ArcGIS Online for that incident to be closed, and then update their app to their users that reported it. Say your issue's been closed by City of Raleigh. How great would that be for citizen engagement? And but for other things, and they still haven't finished that. But I do know they're working on it, and they've committed to doing it. And we talk to them maybe once every 6 months. But for other things, I'd like to pose that to them, because they told us there's more data available than they're letting us have, and that potentially we could get more data like direction and speed. I think we get speed, but maybe not direction for privacy concerns, or there's some legal concerns there. But it's interesting that they're playing ball, and that ESRI is kind of driving that. So ESRI developed the integration, and the guy lives in Charlotte. I met him at the UC. He's the product lead for the GeoEvent, and he built it. And so it's something they're actively, keeping up. So. All right, I think we're out of time. Thanks, guys.